Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 4th SNIA Storage Developers Conference in SNIA. My name is Michael Oros. I am the Executive Director for SNIA, and I'm honored to be here with you from the US for today's event. Look forward to having a great day, great conversation about what are the latest trends and technologies and standards that are in development and in the eye of everyone in the industry. So look forward to having a great day. Just wanted to kick it off today with a little bit of overview of what SNIA is doing this year. So first, a brief reminder of overall our reach, and apologies kind of as we keep our slides here and together, but we have over 170 member companies around the world. All the key and big names in storage are members of SNIA globally. About 2,500 active developers that are contributing various aspects of storage knowledge to the community and the industry. And overall, 50,000 people that we reach on a regular basis with news, activities, educational materials, certifications, and all the other great work that SNIA does as an organization. A quick reminder as to what the vision of SNIA is. So we are a mutual benefit organization that we exist really for the benefit of you, the members and participants of these events. But our overall vision as an organization is to be the globally recognized and trusted authority for storage leadership standards and technology expertise. For that, we depend on all of you coming together and sharing that knowledge, learning, and then passing it on back to your own companies and the future brain trust of the storage industry. Those new college graduates and those at the beginning of their careers that are in need of our mentorship and education to put them in a place where they themselves can start to lead the future of the industry. Our mission statement, I won't read it, but overall, it's really the essence of it is to educate, to collaborate, and to provide that efficient management. And there's some very delicate words here, but the efficient management, movement, and security of information. We don't talk about data, we don't talk zeros and ones. We talk about information and how do we ensure that we provide the best underlying technologies to the end users and consumers of the new era and the new economy in the technology world. In terms of what SNIA does, at the core of it, obviously, we do standards development. So we work on providing standards to the industry. Why this is important? If you don't collaborate and work on a fundamental standard and you compete at a very, very fundamental basis, you create more problem in the industry and the inability of customers to utilize multi-vendor solutions that then work together. Now, if you have standards, the next step is to have interoperability programs. The value of a standard without interoperability is almost zero. That is one of the fundamental things that it's supposed to provide, is that interoperability between. SNIA has several programs over its history that does a conformance testing program and other methods by which that interoperability assurance is provided to the industry. The technology acceleration and promotion. Whenever new technology comes out, there's new terminology, there's new things to learn, and one of the very first and fundamental things is to get onto the same page on our vocabulary, so when we say something, we all mean the same thing. Towards this end, there are special interest groups that do educational materials, but also we have a SNIA dictionary, for example, which is highly utilized and referenced by everyone throughout the world for that very purpose. So when we say a word, we're all literally on the same page. In terms of the global vendor, neutral education. This is critical. As more and more companies have become larger and larger through mergers, acquisitions over the years, they do their own events, and they're critical, important. We support them from a SNIA perspective with presence at their events. But it's critical for customers to have a place where they can get a non-vendor bias view of technology and get that fundamental understanding before they make a technology choice, an investment, or strategic direction for their company. In terms of areas of focus, I'll cover these very quickly because SNIA covers a tremendous, tremendous amount of ground. We start from the fundamentals of storage management, several long-standing specs there, SNIA, for those of you that are familiar with it. Then we've added many things in terms of the data in the cloud, data security, data management, the physical storage. This physical storage aspect has been tremendous, tremendous growth in the last few years because of some of the new media. NVM Express is brought to the marketplace a technology that no longer has to be bound by the form factor of traditional spinning media. So now that they've gotten past that, they have their interface on NVM Express, PCI Express essentially, and other future interfaces as well. They're doing tremendous innovation in the form factors in which these devices now live. And with that go the connectors, all the conformance aspects, and the standards associated with it. That is under SNIA. There's a group that joined SNIA a little over 2 years ago called SFF, which deals with form factors and transceivers for the storage industry and beyond. Persistent memory, it is one of the fundamental changing technologies for the storage industry. It will literally create new markets and new companies that you have not heard of yet, those that are able to adopt and take advantage of this technology. It is the biggest change since the hard drive was invented and commercialized 60 years ago. And SNIA is on the forefront of this technology and the standard, developing not just our own, but working across the industry. We announced this year strategic alliances with several organizations, one of them being the OFA, Open Fabrics Alliance. We're working with them on use cases such as security use case models, federated solutions, multi-box solution essentially, not just the persistent memory inside the box, but persistent memory across a diversified system. In terms of power efficiency, SNIA has had a long-standing investment here in what we call the SNIA Emerald program. The EPA, Europe, Japan, many other countries around the world utilize this as a base reference spec. And this year, we are actually submitting the latest spec, the Emerald 3.0, will be going to ISO, so it'll become an international standard. On next generation data center, this has been the area, I would say, of focus for the last 5 years of the industry. As a hyperscaler, the big cloud providers, Google, Facebook, et cetera, have brought a whole different view and perspective on how do you deploy technology, how do you bring new efficiencies, lower the cost, increase the reliability, and doing it through a software view and a deployment view model as opposed to necessarily from a hardware view. However, nothing entirely can live in software. You do need hardware to support it, and this is where we've done a lot of work over the last 2 years to not only come up with new specs such as Swordfish, which is in collaboration with the DMTF, another strategic alliance we have called Redfish, the management spec for servers, essentially bringing a single way of managing servers, storage, network, and the facility itself. Imagine how powerful it is if you can have a bird's eye view of everything that's happening in your data center and being able to make intelligence decisions on the fly. As you go, you get new workloads or new events that occur externally, and your infrastructure needs to adapt for it. This is the technology that will enable that, not just for the hyperscaler that can afford to invest tens of thousands of people into their infrastructure, but this will bring it to the enterprise and to the traditional data centers that we all know today. And of course, on the network storage front, this has been one of the fundamentals of SNIA from the original fiber channel days in 1997, 98, and so forth. We continue to have collaborations with the FCIA and work on various data access protocol and network technologies for storage. This next slide, again, you'll have access to it offline, but this actually calls out specifically so you see these are actual specs that are scheduled to be released this year by SNIA in all of these domains. So tremendous amount of work and effort from the over 2,000 plus people that are working in different areas of storage. In terms of technology communities, again, you got an idea from that info, from that visual of the work that we're doing in the cloud storage, Ethernet storage, green storage, the solid state storage, and the storage management. In tomorrow's kickoff for the sessions, we'll give you a little bit more insight into each of those and some of the work that SNIA is doing there. In terms of why join SNIA? You're all here today. You obviously understand the value of not only learning the latest, presenting to your peers and educating and influencing your peers, but also the wonderful aspect of being able to network, talk to one another, develop a relationship which you can rely on later in your work, months from now when you're trying to solve a problem for your own company in the industry. You have others that you can reach to, that you can work together to solve those problems. So the fundamental kind of tenets on why be a part of this group, why be part of SNIA is, one, the ability to influence. If you are able to put in the time, you're able to influence the spec and provide the directionality of the spec that will be the future of tomorrow. Collaboration, again, we talked about, is being able to network, participate by, we've proven this time and time again, by putting in 4 hours of time in SNIA, you're able to bring back 20, 40 hours worth of value back to your company, because it's not just you working on a problem, but it's a group of 8, 10, 20 people from around the world that can bring different views, experiences, and knowledge to solve those problems. And finally, leading the industry. We talked about education, how critical that is, not only keep up with the latest, but educate our future leaders in the industry. So with that, I'd like to invite up Udain, our chairman of SNIA India, to give you a little bit more overview of today's sessions.